get a chance to watch my short little video?
I didn't actually. I'm sorry.
No worries at all. That's only designed to save a bit of time. And if you feel so inclined afterwards, you can certainly look at that. And I also have a YouTube channel, which you can look at those as well. But I want to make this call about you, find out who you are, your journey in real estate, and how I can help you. So, what's been your story so far?
So far, I'm fairly new to the whole industry of real estate investment. Um, Very new. I started my company back in December of last year, so December 1st. Um, I've been following a lot of different people for the past couple of years, I would say, um, learning about flipping and um, wholesaling.
Yeah,
Um, and what I found was a lot of people were charging, 20 to 30 to $50,000 to
that's right.
get the juicy information.
Yep, and it's not
Um,
really juicy information either.
you're right.
Yes.
You're 100% right. I
Yeah,
wish I would have known that like 2 years ago that I could have just gone to YouTube and just searched for whatever I needed to search for.
yeah,
And
exactly.
but I reconnected with it because I got a sour taste in my mouth after one particular guru. I went through a whole weekend of his class and I was like so pumped. And at the end of the class, he's like, "Yeah, for $20,000, this is what we'll do for you." I'm like, "What? Wait, what are you talking about? Like, I have so many questions." "Well, you can pay us $20,000 and we'll get those questions answered." And that's why I just left. I walked away. And
Yeah, very wise.
um,
It's
so
well, isn't it, the way that's set up? I mean, it's not just one instance, there's a whole bunch of them out there. So,
yes,
yeah. Mm.
and so I stepped away, and then I came across tax liens, and it kind of threw me. I was like, "Oh wow, that's pretty cool." And so I bought a couple of tax liens. I still own them, and that kind of threw me back into the wholesale arena. And this another guru, but it was a lot cheaper, and I made it more enticing. He was like, "Yeah, you can make $150 a month payments, and we'll teach you how to do X, Y, Z." And I was like, "Okay, cool, great, yeah, okay, I'll do that." So $5,000 in debt. Um, I the seven no, actually, I had 10 sessions with an actual teacher, like a coach, and I honestly, it was worth. I wouldn't say worth $5,000, but it did set me on the right path.
Hmm.
Um, Completely. Um, but as after that, I learned that what he was teaching me is flexible. And when he was teaching it to me, he was like, "This is non-negotiable. This is what you look for. This is how you do it. I've been doing this for 30 years and blah blah blah." I'm like, then I start reaching out, looking at other people, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, you could be flexible over here and flexible over here." And
And it has been
oh,
wasted, you know. I mean,
yep.
so kind of, yeah, set that up again. Yeah, the where you were. Go back a few paragraphs. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I learned that, there is some flexibility you can have when wholesaling properties. Because this guy was teaching me to look for a certain type of property and certain type of comps. And I understand how important comps are
Yeah.
to, getting that lowest price based off of, what needs to be done. But he was like, there was no budging. Like I'd bring properties to him. He goes, "Oh yeah, there's nothing," and we're like, they weren't rural properties, but he was like, "Yeah, if there's nothing within like a half a mile, then the comp isn't good enough." And I'm like, "Oh, well, okay."
Yeah.
And but anyway, I learned after him, after looking at other people on YouTube, and I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, he taught me well, but he didn't teach me well enough
Hmm.
to really branch out.
Hmm.
And so I start following like Pace Moby is who I got your information from.
Mm.
I'm not a part of Pace as a group because I can't afford it.
Right,
um,
right. I understand. Yeah.
but and then I follow Jerry Norton,
Yeah.
and there's some other people that I follow, but those two, I feel like they're genuine, and the
Mm.
information that they're giving is like solid information. Pace is a little bit more advanced in his approach to creative financing, but I love it. I love it. I love watching what I mean, he just comes up with things out of the air, it seems like.
Yeah.
And so I've had property, like I kind of fell into the more land wholesaling part of it. I haven't closed the deal yet, but I've had several pieces of property on contract. But they just didn't work out. I've had a lot of leads where they led to almost getting houses on contract, but they kind of fell through. Um, so I'm at that doorway, but now I'm at the point where financially I'm just all the money that I had pulled out of my 401k, which wasn't a lot, and money that I had in savings, which wasn't a lot, is gone because of all these other people that are like, hey, for this amount of money, I can do this for you, and this amount of money, I can do this for you. Oh, you need to get this CRM. Oh, you need to pay for this much money for VAs. And I was like, okay, okay, okay. And then
Yeah.
the next thing I know is like, I feel like I'm completely prepared to do this investment thing, but now I have no capital. And it
Yeah.
stresses me out. And so my situation is I
So do you have a
sorry.
job as well right now?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to go into. I actually work two jobs from home.
Okay.
I'm a senior demand planner for a company here based, I'm in Oregon.
Mm.
And then I work for another company that's based out of Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay.
Um, so the company here in Oregon is they do HVAC. They call Johnstone Supply. Um, and then the company in Grand Rapids, they're food distribution. And so I do forecasting for both companies from home.
Okay.
I have a 16-year-old daughter who is expensive, and
Yes.
um,
That's right.
but
Yeah.
I also have two other kids that are grown. My oldest daughter, she just got married a couple of weeks ago,
Oh,
and
nice.
then I have an older son. He is 30, and he's married with two kids. And
Oh,
so
nice. Okay.
the purpose of getting into this is to leave my family with something when
Right.
I
Yeah.
when I leave this earth. Um, I know my son is really into real estate, but he is tied down to a job,
Mm.
just like I am.
Right.
And so my goal is to build this up and then bring my son on board eventually.
Right. Right.
And we build something. And along with actually, I have a stepbrother who we always talk about building generational wealth together.
Mm.
He's on a kind of different path on doing that, but ultimately we'll come together and we'll build that for both of our families.
Mm.
Um, but anyway, so where I struggle in regards to like really digging in with offers is not knowing how I'm going to fund it, even if it's a seller finance deal, where typ- technically that's what I want to do right now is seller finance and then assign it over for a fee. So I can gain a whole bunch of capital
Right.
to start doing other things and feel more comfortable doing those things.
Right. Right. So
Um,
do you think Pace uses any of his money personally in his real
no,
estate? No, he
he does
doesn't.
not.
He doesn't. No.
Blows my mind.
Right, right. And it doesn't matter how much money you've got in the bank or what your asset, you should find the money apart,
Okay.
because the idea is to put money into your account, not take it out.
Mm,
Yeah.
it's a good comment. Yeah.
So, and if you follow Grant at all as well, Grant Cardone,
Hmm.
Especially if you watch Undercover Billionaire, you want to watch that several
I
times.
have.
Okay, I'm
So
glad you
Grant,
did.
yeah, Grant is one of the
So,
guys that
so
got my money
he
too. So
right, right. So that he clearly demonstrates, and he's doing that for a purpose, because you
mhm,
don't need money. It's all about your network. And Pace bangs that drum every time he speaks. I hear that.
yeah.
It's squad up. It's all about the community. It's about linking up. It's about what we're doing right now. This is a networking event. We're getting to know each other and help each other, right? You're learning a little bit about me. Um, and you've got to have that drive. That's why I like the video, because that was Pace's idea to do a video about
Okay.
himself, give an idea, because that saves time. But it
Hmm.
also shows who is curious, who really does want to get to know other people in the community. It's important, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because it'll build your business, right?
Hmm.
Together we win. It's a team sport, and nobody stays on a team long in football if they don't play as a team, right? They
True.
get kicked off if they're not
Yeah.
playing it right. If they're not performing, that means being a team player and not looking to get the glory themselves. They'll soon get kicked off if they're seen doing that, right? If they're playing defense and they run with the ball all the
Yeah.
way down and try to score a goal and they don't, they mess up or whatever. you know, that's seen as oh, he's not a team player. And that's the number one thing. So um from what I'm hearing, that's something that I would, if I were you, concentrate on a whole lot more. How many networking events do you do a day?
None. None.
Okay. That needs to
Um,
change. That needs to
well,
change right
and
away.
the
Yeah.
market that I'm in, I'm not in the market where I live. Is
Right.
another issue because Oregon is it's very expensive.
I
So
wouldn't worry
trying to
about it.
find,
Yeah.
a dilapidated house here is probably 150 to $200,000.
Right, right. Don't do it. Look at the markets where it makes sense, where the
Right.
investors are. Yeah. And
Yeah.
the nice thing is we've got the tools today to do that and everything else.
Yes.
So I definitely would encourage you with that. Why I enjoyed your story so much, right, is because it's not about knowledge and stuffing knowledge in our heads and paying for it, because I did that, and that's the wrong thing. It's going
Yes.
to take you 1,000 years learning real estate, and you still wouldn't learn it all. You can
Hmm.
spend millions of dollars in your education, and you still wouldn't be any further forward. You won't. Even
Nope.
if you knew it all, you still couldn't do it because you need other people. And
Yeah.
as Pace said, you've never ever in your whole life made a single dollar without somebody else helping you. So it's a fantastic message, isn't it? So I
Yes.
really commend you. You've probably come through that educational thing way quicker, and um, and you're learning from Pace. He is the king, I think, of king of community in real estate. He's the leader, so you come across the right guy. I've been to the mall, so I know I can see. who is genuine. You're quite right. I'm not in sub two, but I'm a elite gator, so I did come into the community that way.
Okay.
I've been following Pace now for over 4 years and listened to a great deal of his content. So, yes, he is genuine and
Hmm.
yes, he does want to help. Except the only downside is it is extremely advanced, as you've already said. So they're not on his level at all. And so we do need to network and be on other teams where we can fit in. So I'd
Right.
encourage you to, as I say, network, find that place where you can be and grow your business.
Yeah.
And
So in regards to that, yes, Oklahoma is actually stumbled upon Oklahoma. When I had two lots on contract and I was advertising them on Zillow, a guy reached out to me about the lots. And he happened to be in Oklahoma at the exact same time. He lives in Oklahoma, but
mm,
at that time I had just looked at markets in Oklahoma. And we got to talking like you and I were talking, like he wasn't trying to pitch me an offer, and I wasn't trying to, counter his offers. We were just kind of talking, and he goes, "Oh, I used to live in Oregon," and just kind of went from there. And I was like, "Hey, what part of Oklahoma do you live in?" And he's like, "Oh, I live in this Bethany area." And I was like, "Can you kind of give me a rundown of the market?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, yeah, sure." And he gave me 5 people that were active investors,
Hmm,
like active buyers.
that's
He
good.
goes, "Give these people a call." And from there, it grew. Like one particular guy takes on students, and he goes, "Yeah, I have like 7 students that if you have anything, I can run them by them as well. That they're actively buying in the area." And so I got connected with these guys, this small group of buyers within Oklahoma. And one of them, this guy Jose, for a while, and he's now working on a project, so we don't talk that much now. But for a while, we were talking 2 to 3 times a week.
Hmm,
And I was looking for property for him, and he's like, "Yeah," and he'd go look at them, and he would have me on video walking through the properties. But we just get to that point of nailing down an actual deal.
hmm,
But I created that contact with him, that connection. We
that's
have
good.
that connection.
Right. Right.
Um, and so a lot of things have kind of like snowballed from that, where I was
Right.
actually reached out to a guy who owned a property
Yeah.
that he had for sale on Zillow for owned by owner. And he actually lives in Washington, which is right above me. And he started giving me a whole bunch of lists of things. He goes, "Hey man, this is what I'm looking for right now." He goes, "I'm looking for land. I'm looking for mobile homes that are on land, that aren't, that they own the land. I'm looking for these type of houses in Oklahoma. I'm looking for these type of houses in Tulsa." And I was like, wow, okay. Like it's just like this water hose of things just kind of thrown at me. And I'm like, wow, like I have all this ability to sell something, but now my stress that I've taken on my personally is, well, how do I do the closing, and how much if I have to put, 10,000 down for EMD, and well, I don't know where that's going to come from. So that's kind of like stalled me a bit.
Hmm. That's why I suggest you join a team because they have all that in place. So within the community, you place yourself in a team. It used to be the Elephant Challenge. It's no longer that, but Pace and Jamil, both of those
Mm,
communities, they have challenges on a regular basis. So it's no one left behind right now. Is a challenge. So you can join a team, you get to know people during that team, and then you're playing a part, and you don't have to worry about the whole, so you can get the deal done as a team. Like I was saying just a bit earlier, you don't have to score the goal, right? You can play
mhm.
parts on the team and everybody wins, when the goal is scored. So it's kind of like that. So there's a whole lot less to worry about getting it to closing, and everybody gets paid on the team when you win. Yeah. So I don't encourage you to become part of a team. And you don't have to be in Pacers community. It's just a case of what you've already said is developing those contacts. So acquisition, then disposition, and everything in between.
What, can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's acquisition and disposition and
Oh,
everything in between.
right, right, right.
Yeah, yeah. So
But
it's
it
putting
costs to
all
do
those
that.
pieces together. What's that?
It costs to join those teams now. I mean,
No.
literally, I just had a conversation with one
Okay.
of Pace's people last week, and it was $1,000.
Right, right. You don't have to join Pacers community. Here's what I would suggest you do. I don't know whether you do this, but go to the local real estate meetups.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're free
Right.
usually. Anyway, they're usually free because they're usually sponsored by a bank or a title company or something like that. So usually they're
Okay.
free. And then you just get talking to people. Well, what do? What can you bring to the table? Is it time, knowledge, or resources? Right? Those four things. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and start there. And the nice thing about the local meetups is you're face to face, so it's more human, than these virtual meetings. It doesn't cost you anything, and you find out what's happening in your local market. So if there is something, it's much easier to get to close and manage
Hmm.
and everything else. So that's the best place for people who are relatively new in the industry to start where you're locally at. You're not going to stay there forever, and as you grow and things like that, other opportunities develop. And so I would definitely encourage you in that direction. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a good story. It's very typical. And I'd encourage you to take a look at my YouTube channel as well if you want to
Okay.
keep in contact with me for any reason.
Where
Yeah,
are you based out of?
I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee right now. I've been
Okay.
in this game over 22 years, so I've got a long in the tooth. I've written a couple of books, as you probably can see behind me. This is one
Hmm.
of them. Demystifying commercial real estate, and this one here, which is investing in large multifamily, because that's my specialty, you see.
I think I ran across a video of yours a few months ago when I was researching. I can't remember what it was, but I remember. I swear it was you. I'll have to look
Mhm.
back at my history in YouTube, but
Yeah, yeah, have a look back. Yeah. But if there's anything I can do to help, certainly. And
do
yeah,
you do? You said you only do gator lending?
I do short-term lending because you have to keep your cash around. So when a large
Hmm.
family does come in, because you throw that money into the deal, as it were. So
Hmm.
I like 90 days really. Gators are 20% or more, so it's expensive. There's way easier ways to get money than that. So
So
uh,
you charge 20% on the
at
money?
at least minimum, yeah.
Okay.
Gators are 20% REO, return on investment on that. So it's because it's lost opportunity when you got your money if you tie it up for a longer period of time, you see.
Mm.
Much better with large multi-families. I realized that a long time ago. It's great for wealth creation and what have you. So it makes sense. That's where the bulk of Pace's income comes from is large multi-families.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
video that I actually just watched that kicked me into calling all of the um, private money lenders that he provided, where he picked up a huge complex and didn't use any of his money, and I was just blown away.
Yeah. And he can raise it in less than an hour. He can raise whatever money he wants. He's got the credibility in the doors, you see, and everything else.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's why he can say what he says, right? It's all about the network. For him, it's his worth is his network, which is amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah. So he can do anything he wants. And I'm surprised he's not over $1 billion, really, quite frankly. I think it's because he loves the education so much.
Mm.
If he exclusively concentrated on large multifamily, he would be the number one in large multifamilies. But he has poured himself out for the community, which is very admirable. He's getting plenty of money. I mean, he's not wanting anything, but um, it does restrict his growth in that area. So, but he's got Vina Jetty, and she's 200 units or more with large multi-families. So he has Vina Jetty there in the community, and so he can always leverage that whenever he likes. So, hmm,
Okay.
yeah. Now, Did you see my YouTube channel there? You can subscribe if you would like.
I'm gonna ask if you send it to. Could I have it?
I
Hold on.
got
'Cause
it in the chat there. Yeah,
I'm on my phone. Hold on.
yeah, it's in the chat. It's Graham Norris, coach.
Got it.
Yeah,
Hold on 1 second here.
and also you can do as many of these one-on-one calls as you like. I always enjoy talking, with investors. So
Thing is getting the property at the lowest price. I know with seller financing, that's not necessarily the case. I think it's finding homes that have enough equity that makes it attractive to the end buyer. Am I correct for
mm,
seller financing?
no, that's just one way. The most important thing is if what your exit strategy is. So if
Mm,
it's buy and hold, then the principal one thing is cash flow. So you want to look at the PITI and can you get rent higher than that and make it be worthwhile. So if you're doing a fix and flip, obviously is are you getting at least 15% profit after all expenses, holding costs, and everything else? So it really depends on your exit strategy to answer that question.
okay.
Yeah.
I know I've seen people explain that if you can find like cheaper homes, get them on seller financing. Usually that, you have that
They
a
don't
higher
know.
ARV.
Yeah, they don't really know what they're talking about. The price isn't the focus. It's all about the numbers and how it works out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
That helps.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
What are your thoughts about on market?
There's deals on and off market. Off market, you generally get a higher, better margins than on market. Yeah, and it depends on whether it's a strong seller's market or a strong buyer's market. So it depends on the market cycle when it comes to on market. And it drives even off market as well, kind of the cycle as well. It's all about confidence, the consumer confidence, so if you imagine consumer confidence extremely low and you're in a deep recession, sellers are thinking, oh, it'll take forever to sell my house. We'll just do an extension, or
Mm-hmm.
things like that. But if it's a roaring, seller's finance and you're going to get multiple offers on the first day, then that drives the prices up, So it all depends where you are in the market cycle.
Okay.
Yeah. So when it's this past 5 years, you've noticed there's been a very strong seller's market, right? So
Mm-hmm.
being a fix and flipper has been a boon, right? But not anymore. We come to the end of that roaring, strong seller's market. It's softening slowly, which is kind of a good thing for the housing market. Good question.
One last question here.
Yeah.
Being that I need to gain or I'm trying to build capital, would you say that the seller finance approach is the best approach for me? It seems like it's because it's the least amount of money out of pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. All day long. If you can do a subject too, but they're so rare, very hard to find. But yeah, if you can find them all day long, always do a subject too. It's a free house.
Okay.
What you
And you
want
think
to,
they're
what you
go ahead.
want to do, because your 2 jobs is too much. What you want to do is think of a niche in real estate or anywhere else actually, where you're going to build up residual income. Because as you've already said, we don't live forever, and you want to leave a legacy. You want a way of making money while you sleep. That's what Warren Buffett says. Unless you find a way of making residual income, you will die in your job. You'll
Right.
always have a job.
Well, I have a goal to leave my jobs next year. So
That's great. So what's your plan for money while you sleep? Because
I
it's
want to have 100 doors by the end of next year.
okay. 100 doors, and who's going to manage all that?
And I've been thinking about that. Uh,
It'll be you, unless it's in one building.
True.
Because I've been
So
through
I
it.
figure on the
I've been,
individual home.
I've been
I
through
don't
it.
know. I haven't researched that part yet. I'll have to pay another guru for that. I'm just joking.
Yeah, you don't have to pay a guru. I've been through it. Cautionary tales from real estate investing. Read that little book. It's only 26 pages. I'll do a coaching call with you and tell you all the ins and outs of it.
Hmm.
Because you're headed for an even busier job. If you have 100 doors, single family homes, you will be working 18 hours a day.
Yeah, I don't want to work 18 hours a day. I rather figure out how I can have somebody manage those doors for me.
They will steal money from you. Ask me how I
Hmm.
know.
Experience.
Because it's not scalable. You can't get the quality management.
Hmm.
It doesn't cash flow, it'll destroy your cash flow to get the quality. That's why I'm in large multifamily
Okay.
of a lifetime's experience. That's why Pace is in large multifamily. That's why Grant Cardone is in large multifamily. Look at the million and the billionaires in real estate. Look at what what their end goal is. Because single family homes are not your goal. Unless you
Okay.
want a job, maybe you do. Maybe you like working 18 hours a day and sweating and needing an attorney every 5 minutes.
Mm, good point. So large multifamilies are better because then you do have to have a property management company.
Yes, it's scalable. You've got the income coming in.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a business, in other words. And it's not for everyone because it's a big business,
Hmm.
right? And not everyone wants a big business. Someone wants a corner shop, a candy shop, you know? It's a little business. Everyone can afford that little retail outlet because they don't want to be a billionaire. They just want to pay their bills. But it sounds like you've got bigger goals, you know? So you've got to think about where the money goes and the cost of doing business. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
yeah. So I should just go after our 250 unit apartment complex off the bat then. I'm just joking.
No, no, you're absolutely right. I'm not
Oh,
joking.
really?
Oh,
Hmm.
yes. Because here's the thing. Let's go back to what we've been talking about. It's a team sport.
Okay.
You're not going to come up with the $20 million, but the team is. You haven't got the experience, but the team does. All those things that you think I couldn't buy a 200 unit. Yes, you can if you're a team player.
Okay.
Now I've got you thinking, huh?
Yes, definitely. It's like where is that team? I need that team.
That's where if there's anything you're going to take away from this is I would figure out what your daily networking goal is. How many people are you going to network with each day? And that's
Okay.
it. That's all it boils down to, finding out who's who.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's as easy as that. That's how Pace found his guys. He met Jamil early on in his trade, who helped him comp a property. He didn't know how to comp a property. He just gave them all to Jamil. Jamil comped them all.
Hmm.
Amazing. It's a fascinating story. And we all start there. You know, we all start somewhere.
Okay.
And the
All
nice
right.
thing is about that is it doesn't cost anything. Did I charge you today? It doesn't cost
No,
anything to talk and network, you see.
thank goodness.
Yeah, and it doesn't cost you anything to go to the local meetups and finding out what's happening in your local market. You'll learn a bunch, even if you never invest in your local market. You'll learn a bunch there. You'll learn a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know I am studying for the Oregon real estate license to become to become a realtor, but just to get my license. So to the laws here in regards to doing any type of
Jamail, I've
flipping.
really enjoyed talking to you. We're less than a minute. I don't
Okay.
want to I want to say goodbye and thank you for booking this time. Feel free to book another time with me if you've enjoyed this time. All
I
right.
definitely will. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamil. All right. Bye bye.
Have a good one.